Imagine a country where all virgin girls are under the watchful eye of the supreme leader, where strict regulations on clothing and hairstyles make daily life seem almost surreal. This is just one of the many strange and frightening aspects that few can truly imagine about such a nation. North Korea, a name that sparks curiosity for many, stands as one of the most secretive and enigmatic countries in the world. It is a place where countless bizarre and unique rules exist, rules that you won't find anywhere else. Under the tight control of the government, every aspect of life in this hidden land is completely cut off from the rest of the world. But that's just the beginning. In today's video, we'll uncover the most bizarre and shocking things that can only be found in North Korea. The secrets buried deep within this nation are sure to keep you hooked. Stay tuned as we explore these never-before-revealed mysteries. The Pleasure Squad, shocking truths about the luxurious lives of North Korea's elite. There is a wealth of information surrounding North Korea's cheerleading team. This famous beauty army has garnered significant attention for their refined fashion sense and graceful demeanor. Such traits are the result of a meticulous selection process, evaluating everything from family background to appearance, skills, and unwavering loyalty to the ruling Workers' Party. But behind these roles lies a darker side. What is it? Let's dive in and find out. The Pleasure Squad, also known as Kipumjo, translates to the Pleasure Brigade. Though its existence remains unverified, accusations suggest that this group consists of around 2,000 attractive women and girls, allegedly maintained by North Korea's leader to provide entertainment services. Even more shocking are the reports that they are forced to offer sexual services, regardless of consent. While this might sound unbelievable, many of these claims are based on accounts from North Korean defectors. One of the living witnesses of the Pleasure Squad is Mai Hyang, who served in the group for 2 years before escaping. In her statements, Mai Hyang has shared shocking insights into the private lives and strange preferences of the elite, particularly Kim Jong Un. She described the leader as someone who could become affectionate when drunk, with a peculiar fondness for dishes containing shark reproductive organs. While Kim is known to be harsh with his eyes, he is said to be quite attentive to his female attendants. Mai Hyang's story is especially notable as it provides direct and in-depth insights into Kim's life. Very few people have direct access to the leader, let alone the startling realities of the Pleasure Squad. Beyond sexual services, the Pleasure Squad also provides massage, dancing, and singing. Therefore, each selected girl must meet extremely stringent criteria. Across the country, only 30 to 40 students are chosen each year. These new recruits undergo 6 months of training before Kim interviews them, deciding whether he likes them or not. Additionally, selected girls must write a blood oath pledging their loyal service. Disturbingly, they are isolated from their families and must spend a decade serving in the Pleasure Squad. Lee Il-nam, the nephew of Kim Jong Un's father, who defected in 1982 and was assassinated in 1997, also described the Pleasure Squad in a memoir he wrote before his death. In it, he exposed the scandalous and decadent lifestyles of North Korea's elite. When the girls retire, they are married off to members of elite guard units seeking brides, closely monitored, and paid to keep the state's secrets. Any girl found breaking her oath of silence is executed immediately. When the girls retire, they are married off to members of elite guard units seeking brides, closely monitored, and paid to keep the state's secrets. Any girl found breaking her oath of silence is executed immediately. Though it may sound implausible, the entire narrative of the Pleasure Squad has been pieced together from testimonies of living witnesses, making North Korea appear even more enigmatic to the world. Now, let's delve into the next horrifying secret of this isolated land. Dark secrets in the North Korean military. What are women enduring? The haunting silence. Women in the North Korean military are often seen as symbols of resilience and courage. But behind their uniforms lie heartbreaking stories that have never been exposed. They face a harsher reality than the battlefield itself: sexual harassment and abuse at the hands of their fellow soldiers, and even their superiors. In the North Korean military, power and rank are unchallengeable. Senior officers wield absolute authority, and some have abused this power to force female soldiers into submission. These women find themselves trapped in a cycle of fear and intimidation they cannot speak out, fearing retaliation not only against themselves but also against their families. A vicious cycle with no escape. Why do women in the North Korean military remain silent in the face of such injustice? The military culture there is not only defined by strict discipline but also by ruthless control over every action and thought. Victims of abuse are not only physically violated but also mentally oppressed, trapped in a vicious cycle with no escape. They have no one to turn to for help, no one willing to stand up for them, and this allows the abuse to continue unchecked, with no consequences for the perpetrators. The silence surrounding this issue is not just a symptom of fear. It's a reflection of a system designed to keep victims voiceless and powerless. This harrowing reality sheds light on a dark undercurrent within North Korea's armed forces, one that the world must not overlook. The previous revelations might have been shocking, but did you know that there are still plenty of peculiar and downright absurd rules for women in North Korea? While women around the world can experiment with countless hairstyles and fashion trends, in North Korea, choosing a new haircut can be as stressful as passing a military exam. The freedom to express oneself through appearance is a luxury, as citizens, especially women, must adhere to strict regulations about their looks. Could it be that keeping everything in order, from the military to haircuts, is part of a broader strategy to maintain absolute control? In the past, North Korean women were only allowed to wear pants while working, and even then they had to wear a pin on their chest, symbolizing the nation's leaders. Women would wear skirts to the office, change into pants for work, and switch back to skirts for the journey home. This regulation began to ease with the emergence of retail markets, as many female traders found it inconvenient to wear skirts. As more women took on the role of breadwinners for their families through trade, North Korean women began to confidently wear pants. Even First Lady Ri Sol-ju, the wife of Supreme Leader Kim Jong Un, has been seen wearing trousers in public on occasion. When it comes to hairstyles, women are permitted to choose from only 15 state-approved styles. The most popular choice is the bob cut, which flatters round faces, a feature considered the standard of beauty. Vibrant hair dyes and revealing clothing are strictly forbidden, but as change slowly beginning, although gradual, changes in the economic roles of women, along with the slight loosening of dress codes, have started to emerge in the North. More and more women are confidently donning pants, leading small but significant shifts within this closed society. And when First Lady Ri Sol-ju, one of the most influential figures in the country, is occasionally seen in trousers, it suggests that even the most rigid norms might slowly be bending. These subtle changes, while modest, could be signs of a quiet transformation taking root in a society where change has always been tightly controlled. Even though changes in fashion may seem slow and cautious, they reflect a deeper reality unfolding in North Korea. The role of women in society is growing stronger. Surprisingly, behind the stringent regulations, it is women who have become the economic backbone of the nation, not men. You heard that right. Despite North Korea's harsh and strict policies towards women, they have emerged as the main economic pillars within their families.
The rise of the shadow economy.
The underground market economy, or black market, began to flourish after the 1990s. While men were often tied to state-controlled jobs, women had more flexibility to engage in these illicit trading activities. They traded various goods, from food and clothing to basic consumer items. Many women even participated in cross-border trade networks, particularly with China, smuggling in products such as mobile phones, food, and electronic devices. Even though the North Korean government does not officially acknowledge this economic role, it remains essential for the survival of many families. The growth of the underground market economy highlights the failures of the official economic system and the lack of essential infrastructure. One major factor behind this situation is the ongoing energy crisis, which has left many parts of the country in darkness. A prominent symbol of North Korean women is the First Lady Ri Sol-ju. Her appearances in elegant, modest outfits have gradually become a representation of a more modern North Korean image. Yet, her sophisticated beauty is only part of the story. What intrigues international media more are the mysteries surrounding her true identity, a powerful woman who remains shrouded in secrecy. The entire past of Ri Sol-ju is a mystery. Even her birth year and real name are tightly guarded secrets by the North Korean government. Some reports suggest she was forced to marry Kim Jong Un before his father's death due to a stroke in 2008. A life of strict control. To become the First Lady, Ri had to sever all contact with her family. From the limited available information, she is believed to come from a prestigious and affluent family. Her mother was the head of a hospital department, and her father was a professor. She reportedly met Kim through her uncle, one of Kim's military advisors. Additionally, there are claims that before her marriage, Ray was a singer in the Unhasu Orchestra and a student at Kim Il-sung University. Ri Sol-ju often captures attention with her rare public appearances due to her elegant and stylish fashion sense. But few realize the strict regulations behind her wardrobe choices. For instance, wearing jeans is not permitted during outings, and her attire must always be modest and somewhat conservative. She is usually seen in classic style coats, long, discreet skirts, or hanbok, the traditional Korean dress. Her public appearances are also limited, and she is never allowed to appear alone. Ri Sol-ju is not even permitted to leave North Korea. Her prolonged absence during certain periods often sparks speculation from international media, with possible reasons ranging from health issues to family matters or internal political security protocols. The pressure to bear a son. Ri is reportedly under immense pressure to produce a male heir. Although it might sound outdated and hard to believe, this is said to be a truth of the First Lady's secretive life. Many accusations suggest that she faced significant pressure to give birth to a son because the first two children were daughters, which did not satisfy the Kim family. Additionally, her pregnancies were kept under strict secrecy. These accounts paint a vivid picture of the hidden struggles of North Korean women, from everyday citizens who navigate the challenges of a shadow economy to the First Lady herself, who endures a life under intense scrutiny and control. While women have become essential to the nation's economy, their lives remain entangled in a complex web of strict rules, social expectations, and unyielding power dynamics. Next, let me reveal strange thing number 6. Watching Korean movies can lead to death penalty. It's terrifying to think that a person could lose their life simply for watching a foreign movie. But this is a harsh reality in North Korea. The political tension between North and South Korea has always been intense, and consuming foreign media, especially from South Korea, is an extremely risky act. The North Korean government views the consumption of foreign cultural content as a direct threat to their ideology and the authority of the Kim family. Therefore, the government strictly controls all media within the country. Cultural products from South Korea, Japan, and the West are all labeled as reactionary ideologies. The state fears that these materials could undermine the leader's image and disrupt their ideological control, which is why they enforce extremely harsh penalties. What are the penalties and how severe are they? Reports from defectors indicate that there have been numerous instances where individuals were publicly executed after being caught watching or storing South Korean films or music. In other cases, offenders could be sent to political prison camps, where they endure hard labor, torture, and indefinite detention. Even worse, their families might also be implicated. In the most severe scenarios, these offenses can lead to the death penalty. Do North Koreans actually follow this bizarre rule? The answer is no. Despite the strict control, South Korean cultural products still find their way into North Korea, especially through the black market or smuggling across the border with China. North Koreans, particularly the youth, continue to access and be captivated by the glamorous entertainment industry of South Korea. In schools and educational institutions, students are taught about the dangers of South Korean culture, with authorities stressing that consuming such content will corrupt morals and loyalty.
A brief moment of cultural thawing.
This issue seemed to loosen slightly in April 2018, when a troupe of South Korean artists, including the famous girl group Relvet, performed in Pyongyang. It was reported that Kim Jong Un personally selected the group, which led to the impression that North Korea was willing to embrace South Korean popular culture. However, after unsuccessful attempts to resolve nuclear issues and other underlying matters, the situation worsened again, with an even stricter crackdown on the banned content. What are the consequences for those caught? Punishments can be extremely harsh, ranging from imprisonment and torture to, in more severe cases, public execution. Despite this, K-pop continues to circulate covertly within North Korean society, particularly among the youth. The clearest proof of this is the emergence of new K-pop idols who have defected from North Korea. They are drawn to the vibrancy and colorfulness of the genre. The anti-K-pop squad is publicly touted as a force to protect the pure spirit of the nation. But in reality, it is just one of the many irrational methods the state uses to control its citizens and maintain a dictatorial regime. Life in this hidden land is often compared to a steel cage, stifling the freedoms of millions of people. The control Pyongyang is designed to be accessible only from within. Doesn't North Korea allow internet access? There are three main reasons behind this peculiar restriction.
Propaganda control. The foremost reason is to serve propaganda purposes. In recent years, North Korea has carried out surprisingly impactful social media campaigns, including a steady stream of YouTube videos praising the greatness of Kim Jong Un and glorifying the ruling party in the state. Controlling internet access ensures that citizens remain immersed in this narrative without external influence.
Cyber attacks and financial scams. North Korea has long used the internet for cyber attacks, causing chaos online and targeting organizations in the United States and South Korea. Additionally, there are reports that the regime uses the web to conduct numerous scams, generating valuable foreign currency for the government through illicit means. Allied access and knowledge. This reason is more complex. While most North Koreans live in a propaganda bubble, the country's elite are fully aware of what's really happening around the world. They understand how the global economy and political landscape work, which helps them manage the country, even if it's only to sustain the authoritarian regime. As we peel back the layers of North Korea's extreme information control, it raises the question, what other secrets are hidden within this tightly managed system? What more might the political elite be concealing from the rest of the world? Stay tuned as we uncover the next mystery. Office 39, the illegal activities behind a political facade. Office 39 is a secret organization within the North Korean government, believed to operate under the direct oversight of Kim Jong Un's family. This organization was established to manage financial funds for the nation's leadership and sustain the power of the Kim family. Numerous reports suggest that Office 39 is involved in illegal activities, generating income to fund the lavish lifestyle of North Korea's elite, including the infamous Pleasure Squad. Established in 1972, Office 39's mission is to maintain a reserve of foreign currency for the country's leaders. The organization has been accused of illicitly earning money by managing foreign currency revenues from hotels in Pyongyang, mining operations for gold and zinc, and exporting agricultural and seafood products. It is estimated that Office 39 controls around 120 companies, including Zokwang Trading and Taesung Bank. Many of the $500 million worth of textiles that North Korea exports annually are falsely labeled as made in China. Additionally, the wages of approximately 50,000 North Korean workers sent abroad are said to add between $500 million and $2 billion to Office 39's income each year. Ri Jong-ho, a senior economic official who served under 3 generations of the Kim dynasty, defected and exposed the terrifying truths about Office 39 to the international media. According to Rai, his perspective changed dramatically in 2013 and 2014 when he witnessed the horrific actions of Kim Jong Un, who had assumed power and brutally executed his uncle, Jang Sung-thaek, along with hundreds of high-ranking officials. During this period, Pyongyang became a city filled with fear and bloodshed, and Office 39 only became more scandalous. The vast funds from Office 39 allow Kim Jong Un to maintain a luxurious lifestyle and develop nuclear programs. While the majority of North Koreans face stringent restrictions, even when it comes to domestic travel, the strict travel regulations create an invisible wall, isolating citizens from the outside world and keeping tight control over their movements. The real reason behind the strange travel ban. The ban is primarily aimed at controlling society and preventing foreign influence. The government fears that unrestricted travel could lead to exposure to outside information, potentially altering citizens' beliefs. Citizens wishing to travel between cities or provinces within the country must obtain a permit from the authorities. This restriction also applies to contact with foreigners or any form of media communication. What are the consequences of violating travel restrictions? International travel is tightly controlled, and those who attempt to escape can face severe punishment, including hard labor, detention in re-education camps, or even execution. Moreover, penalties extend beyond the individual caught. Entire families may also suffer the consequences. Right now, let's join me in discovering the 11th strangest thing, educating a strong sense of money with the West, especially the United States, in North Korea. Anti-American propaganda is a core component of North Korea's state-run education system. North Korean children are exposed to anti-American ideology from a young age through textbooks, comics, and songs laden with hostile messages toward the United States. Educational materials often depict Americans as brutal invaders, associating them with negative imagery and branding them as the nation's #1 enemy. In addition, summer camps or educational events organized by the state often revolve around reinforcing loyalty to the government and fostering anti-American sentiments. These events include parades, singing patriotic songs, and even reenacting war scenes, with America cast as the enemy. In popular culture, films, television programs, and other forms of art are tightly controlled by the state, all containing anti-American messages. Documentaries and popular novels in North Korea frequently portray Americans as cruel and deceitful, helping to sustain long-standing hostility and instilling deep-rooted animosity in the minds of citizens from an early age. Through a system of education and propaganda, North Korea instills deep hostility towards the United States, reinforcing political power and preserving the regime's ideology. This strategy serves a dual purpose, fostering nationalism and loyalty while ensuring unwavering reverence for the leader. Every aspect of life, from illegal financial operations to strict travel controls and education, feeds into a broader strategy to maintain tight control over the nation. Stay tuned as we reveal more of these hidden elements. Now join me on strange thing number 12, the entire country's reverent loyalty to Kim Jong Un. Can you believe that the leaders are deified in this country? It sounds crazy, but North Korea has been practicing a form of secular religion, where Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong Un are worshipped like gods. Their portraits appear everywhere throughout the country, from private homes, workplaces, schools, to government offices. Citizens are required to show reverence to these portraits by bowing before them and keeping them carefully maintained. North Korean children are taught from a young age that their leaders are the source of life and the guiding light of the nation. This is reflected in the fact that North Koreans are often required to participate in public ceremonies, events, and military parades to demonstrate their respect for the current leader, Kim Jong Un. Do you know the severe punishments that await those who violate this? These punishments are said to be extremely harsh and can range from mild to extremely severe. They include detention and forced labor, imprisonment in political camps with mistreatment and torture, social isolation and expulsion from Pyongyang, surveillance and restriction of civil rights, punishment of the family, and, in the most severe cases, execution. But the oddities in North Korea don't stop there. Let's move on to the next. Mass media is a tool for absolute control over the people. In North Korea, the government uses media as an effective instrument to propagate Juche ideology and to praise the Kim family. While countries around the world usually have hundreds of news agencies, newspapers, and a boom of online news sites, in North Korea, there is no independent press or freedom of speech. Only a very limited number of official media outlets exist, all of which are state-owned and completely controlled by the government. Every day, citizens can only watch state-run television channels, including the Korean Central Television, KAKTVI, which broadcasts content praising the leaders, political programs, and news edited to align with the state's viewpoint. Instead of delivering timely, accurate, and factual news, reporters are required to focus on conveying the political messages of the Workers' Party of Korea. Next, I will reveal to you something even more amazingly strange, which is the anti-religion policy. Religion is suppressed, and any believer is considered an opponent. The condition of religious freedom in North Korea is among the worst in the world. Although the North Korean constitution nominally grants the right to religious freedom, it also prohibits the use of religion to attract foreign forces or harm the state. What irrationality might be hidden behind this policy? Let's dive deeper to understand the strict, and at times, extreme control exerted by this nation. Ever is considered an opponent. These include mandatory atheism. North Korea follows a form of enforced atheism based on the Juche philosophy developed by Kim Il-sung, which emphasizes self-reliance and absolute loyalty to the leader. Strict government control. All religious activities are monitored and controlled by the state. Churches or other religious establishments that are allowed to exist are merely symbols meant to deceive the international community, and these places primarily serve as government propaganda tools. Religious suppression. Citizens are entirely forbidden from practicing their faith or engaging in any religious activities outside the state's control. Active ideological propaganda. The North Korean state promotes the idea that the leaders Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong Il, and Kim Jong Un are divine figures, and the populace is required to worship them. Even more terrifying are the severe punishments for violating these rules. Lesser offenses can result in detention in political prison camps, where detainees may endure torture and hard labor. In more severe cases, offenders can face execution, and their families may also suffer consequences. And all of the above creates the ultimate strangeness: life in North Korea or imprisonment in an iron cage. You may find it hard to believe, but personal freedom in North Korea is a vague concept. The citizens are suffocated by strict control and absolute surveillance by the state. Leaving the country is not just a distant dream, it is an act that risks one's life. Can you imagine that an average North Korean citizen never even knows what it's like to travel abroad and doesn't have a passport? Only high-ranking officials or a select few individuals who are trusted by the state are permitted to leave the country. And even then, they remain under tight surveillance. Moreover, surveillance is enforced at the neighborhood and village level. The government establishes local surveillance committees, where area leaders are responsible for reporting any suspicious activities of residents. Weekly meetings are held to discuss political and social issues, where citizens are required to engage in self-criticism and criticize each other. These reports can lead to government investigations, even without concrete evidence of wrongdoing. All of this turns life in North Korea into an open-air prison, or an iron cage, where citizens are tightly and absolutely confined. The purpose is to solidify unwavering ideological loyalty and the deification of the nation's leaders. As a result, many North Koreans have attempted to flee the country. It is a grueling process that can even take years. After successfully crossing the border into China, they must navigate through several other countries to seek asylum and rebuild their lives in South Korea. Those who have defected have revealed the harsh truth about life in North Korea. Can you truly be happy when life becomes a series of days lived in fear and control, and when the dream of freedom feels so distant and unreal? So we have discovered 15 strange things that are only found in North Korea. This helps us better understand the challenges that people here face every day. Absolute control has caused this country to sink deeper and deeper into mystery and darkness. What do you think about life in North Korea? Did anything surprise you? Please share your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting videos about mysteries around the world.